Hey, it's me again, you with sunglasses. This week is a continuation of my series covering an aspect from each type of fighter, being melee, ranged, and support. Today we're focusing on ranged fighters. Now, what's a critical aspect of ranged characters that improve your playstyle with each fighter? Oh yeah, that would be targets. Learning who, and sometimes where, to target is incredibly important when playing ranged fighters. Making sure you know who to be focusing on is going to maximize your damage, kill, and team benefit potential in a game. Let's get right into it. Also, before we start, I'm almost at 500. Please subscribe, please. Rocket is our first contester here. He tends to perform much better on maps like Iron Cafe because everyone is grouped up more. Because of Rocket's AoE, he of course does the most damage when more people are around. When people are grouped up, you should be focusing on that group to maximize damage. But if not, who should you be prioritizing? If you're just looking for that sweet kill death ratio, then of course you should be aiming for stragglers. After that, you should probably be targeting melee fighters to really put a dent in the opposing team's main damage output. Here's another big tip for Rocket: thighs. In order to get the maximum balance between AoE and direct hits, one should be aiming for their opponent's thighs with Rocket. Next up is Hyper Laser. Yes, I know it's not in order, but it's easier to edit in order the clip, and I accidentally used Hyper Laser first. Hyper Laser requires so little brain power that I think everything here doesn't really need to be said. I'm going to anyway. Unless you're a god sniper like I totally am, I wouldn't be super focused on headshots when it comes to fast characters. Of course, Banhammer and Katana are great for that, but it's not for everyone. I don't really recommend going for stragglers if they're out of range because you'd probably want to keep your position. Make sure you're focusing on supporting fighters in the front lines that need it, like draining Sword's health while he's inevitably lazy out meleeing one of your fellow fighters. It's really important. And trust me, your incompetent teammates are gonna need it. Slingshot is really great at everything ranged. He has quick moves, high damage moves, all that great stuff. Because of this, who you should be targeting is all about the current state of the game. When Banhammer is giving your team some major issues, do some constant chip damage to help negate his shield regen. Slingshot is great for catching stragglers, so don't be shy with that. And Sling is probably the best out of range to catch the super fast guys like Biographed and Coil. Just as a compliment to the Slingshot community, you guys are honestly pretty competent most of the time, so thank you. Next up, we got the one, the only, Shuriken. As Bannock put it, he melts HP like butter. Shuriken does a really good job sneaking up on supports, backstabbing them, then proceeding to melt their HP because now they can't heal. You can often spend a lot of time destroying the backline of the opponent's team, critically interrupting the frontline support in the process. A lot of the things said about Slingshot can also be applied here too. You're great at catching stragglers, and adding just a little bit of focus onto the tanks is going to be major help for the rest of your team. Even better if you can sneak in an M2 on Katana. Finally, we have Scythe. Literally her passive is just the fact that she picks your target for you, and you get benefits from it too. Make sure you're at the very least lightly focusing on your target, because that's what's going to keep your ammo income steady throughout the round. If your target is like some freaking crazy skateboard when the game starts, just wait a moment, your target will eventually switch. I see way too many Scythe users jump into a large mosh pit while their target is a backline medkit. Like, go get your benefits. Anyway, that'll be it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed. Of course, stay tuned for next week's video, which will be a cool little surprise for y'all. Bye-bye.